1996, a group of American researchers set out to explore a cave in Mexico when they suddenly heard strange noises echoing through the cavern, followed by a tiny creature darting right past them. One of the team members quickly spotted a feather lying on the ground and immediately brought it to the team leader, Quinn. The moment he saw it, excitement spread across his face, and the entire group rushed deeper into the cave to track down the mysterious creature. After following the trail for a while, they finally came across a baby Chupacabra, the legendary creature that had existed only in stories for so long. But just as they were about to approach it, the mother Chupa suddenly appeared, and her roar terrified the entire group. Sensing the danger closing in, she immediately lunged forward, knocking Quinn aside before grabbing her child and fleeing. The archaeologist quickly fired a flare at the creature, but the shot accidentally struck the mother Chupa's wing. The others immediately sped after her, determined to capture the creature. Because of her injured wing, the mother Chupa could no longer fly properly, so the group chased after her relentlessly in their vehicles. In panic and pain, she struggled desperately just to escape from them. Quinn then led the team on foot to continue the hunt, but the area around them was pitch black. Not long after, the creature was hit by a vehicle, leaving her badly injured and unable to run much farther. With cars blocking the road ahead and people chasing from behind, the mother Chupa hid her child in the bushes, knowing she likely had no chance of escaping herself. To give her baby a better chance of survival, she chose to sacrifice herself to distract the pursuers, while the young Chupa could only watch in anguish as its mother disappeared. Soon after, this bizarre story spread across news broadcasts everywhere. Elsewhere in the United States, a boy named Alex had fallen asleep alone during lunch break at school. He was always seen as different and was often isolated by his classmates simply because he was Mexican. After school, Alex quietly returned home feeling down. Noticing how depressed her son had become lately, his mother handed him a passport so he could travel to Mexico and visit his grandfather. But Alex showed little interest and even admitted that he did not like Mexican music or food at all. His mother understood that something was probably happening at school, so she gently comforted him, saying that not only would his grandfather be there, but there would also be plenty of kids his age, and he would surely have a memorable time. That was finally enough to make Alex hesitate, especially since this was a trip his father had once planned to take with him, before passing away after battling a serious illness. His mother hugged him softly and told him that everything would be okay. Soon after, Alex traveled alone to Mexico, where he met his grandfather for the very first time. His grandfather looked incredibly healthy and remarkably stylish, and the moment they met, he happily pulled his grandson into a big hug. During the drive home, the two chatted comfortably, gradually closing the distance between them. Once they arrived, his grandfather introduced him to his cousin Memo, an extremely hyper little kid obsessed with wrestling, who spent all day imitating professional wrestlers. As Alex stepped inside, he was amazed by the house's decor, which was heavily inspired by Spanish heritage and represented a long-standing family tradition. When he went up to the attic where he would be staying, he found his cousin Luna sitting outside the window, singing and playing music, and the two quickly got acquainted. While Alex was still looking around, the mischievous Memo suddenly jumped off a cabinet and landed right on top of him. Afterward, Luna showed Alex an old videotape and revealed that their grandfather was Chava, once a legendary wrestler in Mexico. He had won numerous championship belts and remained undefeated for 10 straight years until an opponent played dirty, causing a severe head injury that forced him into retirement. As they watched attentively, their grandfather suddenly walked over, turned off the TV, and told the kids they should go outside and enjoy the real world instead of staying cooped up indoors, because there were countless interesting things out there worth exploring. With that, he dragged all three kids outside. There, Luna accidentally discovered that one of the goats on the farm was injured. Memo immediately came up with a theory that sent chills down Alex's spine, claiming the culprit was the Chupacabra, a creature that sucked the blood of animals to survive like a vampire. There were even rumors that its blood could cure any disease. However, Chava immediately dismissed the idea, insisting the creature was nothing more than a legend. Only Alex noticed that the goat's wound was mysteriously healing on its own. Meanwhile, the scientist Quinn was facing the fury of his investors because he still had not managed to capture the Chupa. A single blue feather meant nothing of value to them. The project's backers gave Quinn exactly 1 week to find the creature. That night, Alex accidentally saw Chava carrying a music box into the barn, so he curiously followed his grandfather in secret. But before he could investigate further, he suddenly spotted a strange creature hiding in the bushes, causing him to scream in fear and startle everyone in the house. Chava rushed over immediately while Alex frantically insisted that he had just seen a vampire-like monster. Yet when they looked around, there was no monster at all, only a cute little rabbit hopping nearby. It seemed Alex had imagined the whole thing, though he stubbornly continued insisting that it was the legendary creature. Afterward, Alex returned to his room with a scratched hand and quickly fell asleep, completely unaware that the real Chupa was stepping out from the bushes. That same night, Alex heard strange noises coming from outside his window and nervously opened it to investigate. A goat suddenly appeared, startling him, and the next morning he was woken up again by a chicken. But what shocked Alex the most was discovering Chupa licking the wound on his hand the moment he woke up. The boy immediately screamed on instinct, only to quickly realize that the scratch from the previous night had somehow completely vanished. Frightened by Alex's intense reaction, Chupa quickly ran away. While talking with Luna, his cousin casually taught him how to light fireworks and hold them until the very last second before throwing them. Just then, Memo came running in to announce that their grandfather had gone missing again. Luna explained to Alex that Chava had recently started showing signs of forgetfulness and often wandered off by himself. Since she knew how to drive, she quickly took the other two kids into town to look for him. At the local market, Alex noticed a colorful model, and the vendor explained that it was supposed to represent the Chupacabra. But Alex disagreed, insisting that the real creature did not look scary like that. After searching for a long time without finding their grandfather, the group finally headed home. Along the way, they unexpectedly spotted Chava casually walking while leading a goat. He admitted that he had bought it, but could not remember why. At the same time, Quinn's team returned to the site of the earlier collision to search for clues about the Chupa. One of them quickly discovered a license plate lying near the roadside. Back at home, the three kids turned on the TV and saw that the entire town was buzzing with rumors about the legendary creature because livestock had been mysteriously disappearing. However, Chava still insisted that it was all nonsense before immediately switching off the television. Later, Alex told Luna that he felt their grandfather was hiding something. He then took out the music box that Chava had hidden in the barn, while Luna marked it so they could test whether their grandfather truly had memory problems. A while later, as Alex sat alone outside the barn playing with the music box, he suddenly heard soft noises coming from behind him. The moment he turned around, he saw the same creature from before. It looked like a strange mix between a cat, a bird, and a tiny, fanged animal. Chupa seemed to really like the music box. Alex quickly realized that this was the Chupa, but unlike the terrifying rumors, it was not vicious at all and was actually kind of adorable. He immediately ran inside to grab some food for it. As the two slowly grew closer, Chupa had no idea how the food was supposed to be eaten, so it picked up a piece, examined it curiously, then casually shoved it into Alex's mouth instead. Only after confirming that nothing bad happened did it finally feel safe enough to enjoy the food itself. However, in Chupa's eyes, the food was clearly awful, so it decided to take Alex out to enjoy a real specialty meal instead. The result was that the boy ended up being gifted an entire box of dried mice. Even so, Chupa remained incredibly enthusiastic, constantly pushing the delicacy toward its new friend as if it were priceless treasure. Alex could only pretend to eat it out of politeness. Just then, thunder rumbled outside, startling Chupa badly. Alex gently comforted it, and before long, the two of them fell asleep hugging each other. The next morning, Memo went looking for Alex and discovered that his cousin had slept in the barn. Alex tried to drag the boy outside before everything was exposed, but at that exact moment, Chupa suddenly appeared. Left with no other choice, he introduced the two to each other. Right then, Luna also walked in and spotted the strange creature. But after the two boys assured her that Chupa was harmless, she quickly became friends with it as well. Not long after, Chava discovered the whole group gathered inside the barn. Surprisingly, Chupa did not run away at all and instead rushed straight toward the grandfather. It turned out that Chava was the one who had accidentally hit the mother Chupa that day. When he returned to the scene to deal with the damaged vehicle, he heard noises coming from the bushes and found the baby Chupa hiding there alone. Not wanting the tiny creature to fall into the hands of bad people, Chava decided to bring it home and care for it. Alex immediately suggested that they should help Chupa find its mother. Just then, the group noticed a vehicle speeding straight toward the farm. Quinn had finally arrived, acting arrogant as ever while claiming to belong to a United States government agency that searched for rare creatures for medical research. He said he had seen Chava's license plate at the accident site and demanded permission to search the house. But the grandfather was completely unfazed and flatly refused before throwing Quinn out. With no other option, Quinn angrily left. Inside the barn, Chupa curled up fearfully in the corner. Alex stepped closer to comfort it and held out the music box it loved most. The two friends chatted together, despite not understanding a single thing the other was saying. A little later, Memo suggested training Chupa to fly so it could protect itself. The boy immediately dragged Chupa onto the roof of the barn and excitedly demonstrated first before jumping down into a pile of hay below. At first, Chupa was too scared to jump, but after being encouraged, it finally tried flapping its wings and flying out. Unfortunately, it crashed to the ground moments later. Inside the house, Chava was showing Alex old wrestling videos from his younger days and revealed that Alex's father had once been a talented wrestler too. But just as his career was taking off, after marrying Alex's mother, he decided to give it all up and move to the United States. Alex, however, barely paid attention and remained focused entirely on his video game. Chava immediately snatched away the game console and declared that he would only return it if Alex could beat him. Soon after, a mini wrestling match took place with Memo serving as the referee. During the match, Chava told his grandson that instead of constantly running away from his sadness, he should learn how to face it. In the end, the grandfather still emerged victorious. Frustrated, Alex shoved him, accidentally causing Chava's old injury to flare up again. The boy instantly felt terrible with regret, but fortunately, after examining him, the doctor confirmed that Chava was not seriously hurt. Just then, the group heard a loud noise coming from the barn and immediately rushed over to investigate. The moment they stepped inside, they saw Quinn cornering Chupa. The children tried to rush in and stop him, but were completely powerless against him. Quinn quickly fired a tranquilizer dart, knocking Chupa unconscious before taking it away. Alex immediately ran to wake his grandfather and ask for help, but Chava was confused and disoriented due to his memory problems and had no idea what was happening. In that instant, Alex came up with an idea and shouted that Chava's old rival was standing outside challenging him to a match. The moment he heard that, Chava's fighting spirit immediately reignited. He put on his wrestling outfit and charged straight outside. The second he saw Quinn, he wasted no time and kicked him immediately. Afterward, everyone drove to the place where Chava had accidentally hit the mother Chupa, hoping to reunite the baby with its family. After waking up, Chupa immediately ran ahead excitedly. Alex quickly chased after it all the way to the edge of a cliff. The two sat beside each other for a while when they suddenly heard distant howls echoing through the area. The baby Chupa responded enthusiastically, finally reunited with its own kind. The two little friends hugged each other goodbye in an incredibly emotional moment. But the moment Alex turned around, he came face to face with a growling beast approaching him. Panicked, Alex hurriedly climbed onto an old pipeline to escape, refusing to let its prey get away. The beast immediately climbed up after him. Just then, Chava, Luna, and Memo arrived in time. The grandfather continuously waved his cape and shouted loudly in an attempt to scare the creature away. At that moment, the old pipeline could no longer support the weight and suddenly snapped in half. Alex desperately grabbed onto a metal bar and ended up dangling dangerously over the cliff. Hearing his scream, Chupa immediately rushed back to save him. But the instant it reached him, both of them fell over the edge together. In that life, or death moment, Alex managed to grab Chupa's tail, and the tiny creature suddenly awakened its true power. Its wings spread wide, carrying both of them safely back upward. The group above could only breathe a sigh of relief. Meanwhile, Queen had also followed the trail and found the vehicle. He tracked the group's footprints as he continued pursuing them. Not long after, Quinn suddenly appeared again and used another tranquilizer dart to subdue Chupa. He also carried an electric whip to threaten everyone. The four family members could do nothing but helplessly watch as he locked Chupa inside the vehicle and drove away. Just then, 3 adult Chupacabras suddenly appeared in the sky. They quickly surrounded the vehicle, preventing Quinn from escaping. The father Chupa and mother Chupa relentlessly clawed at the vehicle, forcing Quinn into a panic as he stepped outside and tried to scare them off with the electric whip. But this time, Chava suddenly appeared from behind and locked him in a chokehold. Thanks to that, Chupa was finally rescued. The tiny creature was finally reunited with its family. Filled with emotion, Alex hugged his special friend goodbye before the entire Chupacabra family flew off toward the deep mountains in search of a safer place to hide. Eventually, the day came for Alex to return to the city. Luna gave him a music player and some CDs as souvenirs from the unforgettable trip. Memo, meanwhile, continued his habit of launching surprise attacks in front of cars, and afterward, the two boys had one final friendly wrestling match, which Alex finally won this time. He handed the game console back to his grandfather and said he no longer needed it because he had finally found real friends. Completely different from the bored and uninterested boy who had first arrived in Mexico, Alex was now deeply proud of his roots and his family's culture. This would undoubtedly become a memory he would never forget. As the airplane took off, Alex looked out the window and emotionally saw Chupa and its family flying alongside the plane as if they wanted to thank him and see him safely home. And with that, the movie came to an end.